Welcome back to the channel. Today we're down at our 3-acre property and we got our poly situated on the first layer of our double layered greenhouse. Now I'm super excited to bring this update and show everybody what we've accomplished today. And before I do so, please hit that like button and please hit that subscribe button to help us in our journey to self-sufficiency and sharing everything we learn here on this channel. Let's jump right in here. I wanted to kind of show everything we did. We are not completely finished. All we did was tack the front southern side down just to hold it in place. We do have double layer, but we only have one board here and one board there. So when we get our other layer of poly to pull over, we'll pull those pieces off and we'll actually reframe the whole front side exactly like the exoskeleton is underneath, so we don't lose any of our light that comes through. We want to keep it as open and airy as possible. So we've got our door on here. We've got our door polyed up. I put a little eye hook on. I had this holding it, and it closes and it seals very well. We put all these metal brackets in here we had got at like a dollar store or a garage sale or something. We had them laying around in the garage and they made the door nice and heavy and nice and sturdy. So the brackets and the extra bracing on those boards and the whole door itself made it a little heavier. It's nice and solid. We are going to build another door right here that will open inside our greenhouse and close flush with this one. And we're gonna keep this gap here in order to keep all of the hot temperatures inside and all of the cold temperatures out. So with a double door system, we should be able to achieve a good seal on this because that is our only open access point on the front. We do not have any open windows or anything else that can be opened on the front, just our door, and it is very hot in here. It was like 85 degrees today and it was nice and calm this morning. We didn't have any wind. When I got started and put this poly on, the wind kicked up. We got like 30-35 mile an hour winds and it just started blowing us everywhere. But we got it on and our greenhouse is up. The poly is nice and secure. All of it's tacked down. I'm gonna walk around the whole outside. I just wanted to kind of give a tour of the inside. We got some extra hinges that we put on our greenhouse window here just to secure it up. We're gonna get our little actuator to hold this up, so it will end up being about right here, and then when it gets cold it'll close, and when it gets hot it'll open on its own with a nice little actuator. So let's head out the back door here. I want to show all of the outsides and the base. This is the northern wall here, nice and open. We basically just tacked it down out here, couple spots, one up top here, a couple on this side in order just to pinch it, cinch it nice and tight. You can see the nice hoop to this greenhouse. It's all coming together. So we've got both of our doors. I've got just a rigged up lock right there that works for me right now. Same thing with the window. We don't have anything secure yet, but I just wanted to point out the size of the window. I can feel the heat blowing through here and it is massive. This greenhouse is holding a lot of heat today. As soon as I got that poly on, it heated up to about 130 inside here because both of the ends were kind of pinched down on each side here. Before we had cut the poly and started to actually cinch it down, we had to pull it tight on each side of the greenhouse several times. So I ended up just using extra old pieces of wood and tacking those down to hold our poly in place all the way down the entire greenhouse here. So with all the wind we had today, we were able to cinch this down and then come back through, pull one off, pull it down and cinch it back down, and vice versa. All the way down we were just pulling them off, tightening, refixing, and this thing's holding its shape. We've had both of our doors and windows all open today and the wind has been ripping, like I said, about 35 miles an hour, blowing right through here, blowing the heat out. Now we did run into a few trouble spots and I want to point that out. They are not the prettiest looking things. I just kind of put up some poly so I knew where I had to wrap it up. We have one spot where it's rubbing here, one spot where it's rubbing here, and all we did was wrap some poly around because there was a screw. We don't have any damage to our poly, but that's just a quick fix and a quick tip that with all your extra poly you can cut up little pieces of it and wrap it around like your sharp screws that were sticking out. We had to wrap it up just in order to keep them from poking our poly while it was still loose and blowing around in the wind, because it took us quite a while to get this cinched down. This is not a one-man job. I had to have at least 2 people help me do this entire project until I got it all cinched down all the way, and then I was good to go. I could just go around and pull each baseboard off and reaffix it after I tightened it. This greenhouse is absolutely massive compared to the greenhouse at our 1/4 acre property. We are super excited to get growing in here. We're gonna get working on our trenchway. We're gonna start pulling stuff out so we can plant in here while we're getting our second layer of poly on, because we have our other roll of poly and we had a ton of extra poly. So we are gonna build ourselves some very cool stuff out of all that extra poly. So I plan on heating this greenhouse and having it a double layer blown, but we're gonna heat it with compost. This northern wall right here will be our transfer spot. I'm gonna end up drilling a few holes here underneath our window, and I'm gonna be able to run some piping that will run through our compost pile. That's gonna be absolutely huge. And we're gonna be able to blow hot air through our compost pile and back into our greenhouse, one way of heating it. And then we're gonna run water through it also and pull that extra heat off and run some water through the floor or into a large tub in order to create a nice warm environment inside this greenhouse, and possibly keep it warm enough all winter in order for our family of 4 to grow our own food all winter and have some to sell just out of this greenhouse alone. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm gonna do a little walk around. I'll throw some music on so I can just kind of show this build all from top to bottom and front to back.